Hello everybody and welcome to part 3 on learning how to build in Roblox. If you haven't already, make sure to go watch my previous tutorials if you're new or want to be caught up. Those two tutorials teach you the basics of building and generally where everything is, what they do, and how to use it. This specific tutorial is going to teach you a more advanced way of building and doing the basics. After this how to build advanced version is done, I will be posting how to build specific things such as this 5-room and cottagecore dollhouse. I will also be making tutorials on ways to improve your builds like lighting and landscape, so make sure to be on the lookout for those notification bells down below. Before we get into the tutorial, I do want to put this huge disclaimer that since this is an advanced tutorial, I will talk more and explain things in depth. If you skip over information, that is not my fault. This is an advanced tutorial, therefore I would treat you as such, and I am expecting you to have the basics down packed and are already comfortable with how you build. If you haven't watched my first two tutorials, please do so and practice. If you're a new builder and you decide to use these tips, they most likely won't do you as good as someone who has the basics down and are comfortable with how they build. These tips will help you improve your build, but if you have no foundation to improve on, nothing will come out of it. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's get right into the video. So the first thing we'll go over is color, and you're probably super confused because I already went over coloring, but I promise this way is different and way better for your builds. And what I'm specifically talking about is the Roblox color wheel. Originally, Roblox gives us a very limited selection of colors, and that is generally what everybody uses if they're new or just getting used to building. Not many people know it exists, so first I'll show you how to get to it, and then I'm going to show you how to use it to your advantage because it's going to make your build look so good. I promise, I promise, I promise. So the first thing you want to do is spawn in your part and place it wherever you want. Here I am showing you the original color palette that Roblox gives you, the color stuff, and I'm going to be choosing yellow as my base color for the example today. So first you want to click your view tab and open up your properties and explore. Make sure whatever block you want to color is already selected. Once selected, you want to look in your properties tab and there will be a bunch of new options. The first one is brick color, which is the same color palette that I showed you on the Roblox homepage. If you look down a bit more, you will actually see that there is another color category and it only says color. And when you click that, you'll see a new tab pop up, and that is your color wheel. So as soon as that is up, you'll be able to drag your mouse all over the colors, and as you see, it will change the color of your blocks. You are able to choose whatever color you want, which is amazing. On the side, there's a little meter that lets you choose how dark you want it, and then if you choose a specific color and you want to save it, you can go ahead and drag that color into your custom colors. I'll highlight the box for you. You can just drag it in there and then it'll save it for you, so you kind of have like your own color palette, which is really cool. And then after you're done using everything, make sure that you press OK when you are done, because it's not gonna save. You want to make sure you save it because it might be hard to get that same color again. You never know. And so now that I've shown you where the color wheel is and how to use it a little bit, I'm going to give you a good example of me using it and how well it made my build pop. So we're going to use the cottagecore build, which is my last speed build that I posted. So here's some photos and it's looking good. Like, look how good those colors are. I'm going to show you the actual color palette that I used to make it look like this, because the color palette that I used, Roblox is not going to give you that on their color palette. You gotta search for it, sweetie. You gotta search for it. But here's the example. So today's example will be a door, and you're probably like, bro, Ira, it's a door. We don't do doors. Okay, well today we're gonna do a door. Okay, the door has 4 colors, and I'm going to show you why each one of them is different and why they're all important. So as you can see, I actually paired up each color with their specific wood, and they are also letter coded, so you can pause the video and take a look for yourself. But I will say I will not go into detail with this example simply because I am going to be making another tutorial specifically on color a little bit later. But something I do want to point out with this door is that each and every color are very close to each other. They're not that different, except there's a few different shades of blue. There's gray, and then there's like that super duper dark blue. And what those different colors do is, since they're so close yet so far from each other, they accentuate your details. So like if you look on the bottom part of my door, there are like those 2 little like pushed in spots, which I'm going to be teaching you how to do later on in this tutorial. But you see the different shades of blue, and that is how you get to see the details in your build. So if you like change up your stage a little bit when you're adding a detail, it'll be a lot more visible to the naked eye, if that makes sense. I hope it does. If you would like for me to go more in depth with coloring and how to do it and where to place which color where, make sure you put this hashtag down below in the comment section so I know that you guys are ready for a video just like that. Anyways, let's move on to the next thing we'll be talking about, which happens to be textures. Now Roblox does give us a bunch of different materials, but there are tons of other textures, which is basically like a Roblox player made type block, and you can add different textures to your builds, like a different kind of brick or a different type of wood, and it can vastly change the feel of your build and how it looks and all that other good stuff. So I'm just going to be showing you guys how to add those textures to your block in a really good already made set. Now in the future I probably will be making my own sets, but for now I will be using one, and I will link that down below. But let's get right into how to put these textures inside of your world. So first and foremost, you want to already have your block or structure already ready to go inside of your world. Next, you want to go ahead and open up your texture and materials pack. The one I'm currently using is already saved in my models, but if you want to use it, I'll go ahead and have it linked down in the description for you. But if you can't use that link, you can always go to the regular toolbox and you can always just type in materials. And the first one says Nathan's Cult. His name is a little weird, but that's the one I personally love to use. In the future I will have my own, but like I said, I'm going to be using his pack today because it's amazing. And you're obviously always allowed to use somebody else's pack. I do not mind, it is not up to me. So next, it is finally time to choose which texture you want. I'm choosing the super duper detailed one right here. It is beautiful and I decided to use it, you know. So what you want to do is you want to place it wherever. Now you're not actually going to be using this block to build. You can if you want to, but I don't really recommend it. So what you want to go ahead and do is you want to open up your view tab and open up your properties and explore, which we're going to be using a lot today. And then you're going to go ahead and highlight the already textured block. And what you'll see in your little Explorer tab is that it's already highlighted. And you want to click that little drop down thing, and as you'll see, there are tons of textures. What those are is on each side of that block there's a different texture, well, the same texture, but you know what I mean. And you're going to want to select all of them. First you click the first one, and then you hold shift and press the last one, and then you have all of them highlighted. Once highlighted, right click, and then you would press copy. Ooh, copy. And then what you want to do is you want to click your structure, whatever block you're using. You would click it, go to that part in the Explorer, and right click again. Then you would click paste into, not duplicate, paste into. And as you see, your texture is now inside of your block. Super beautiful, super nice. But if you notice, the top one is a little bit darker than that bottom one. So I will be showing you how to change that. And usually you want to click your regular block and you want to go to your textures. Highlight all of them again. And you can actually change this by changing your transparency. You can make it a little light, a little dark, you know, non-existent, whatever you want. You can also change this by changing the color of the actual block. So you want to go back and click your actual part and change the color of it. The darker it is, the more you're going to be able to see that texture. It really actually depends on the actual texture. You can change the color of it and it'll change with it. Sometimes they won't, sometimes they'll stay the same. It all really just depends on that specific block, but as I'm showing you, they can get lighter, darker. This specific one does that, not all of them do that. You just kind of gotta play around with it and you'll get a really good feel for it. Now if you click reflectance and you try to move it upwards, the texture will still be there, but you know, the actual block would be reflected because, you know, it's kind of like a picture on top of a block. So you'll still be able to see it. I don't know if you still want to use it or not. Personally, I have not yet, but it's your choice, you know. You're gonna do you. But like I said last time, I can also make another video on this. Just let me know. That's gonna take too long in this one. But let's get right on to the next thing, which is meshes. Now for meshes, I'm not gonna teach you how to put them in the game, but how to use the ones that are already available to you. Meshes are something that a lot of people don't really use, and I specifically have a pack that I absolutely love. And meshes basically add more to your game. Basically what they are is like they're imported things into Roblox that usually would not be there. Like say a rubber ducky. If you make a rubber ducky in Roblox, it's probably not going to look as smooth, so you want to add a mesh, and that mesh will be super duper smooth And the way that you just use them in general are like super different. When you go to resize them, they like stretch really weird and all that other good stuff. But yeah, the use of meshes are basically just to build things or do things that you usually cannot do with just super duper blocky and hard stuff. Like for example, I have this beautiful couch right here, and as you see, the edges are like super duper smooth. You can try to get smooth edges, but they're not always going to be the exact way you want them. So you can always just use meshes, which I'm going to show you how to do that. I've made computers, as you see on the screen. I made a computer, a TV. On my gingerbread house, I use like this really weird curvy shape with the same one that I used to make the computer. So you can use like different uses with the meshes. You just got to be really creative, and they really help with builds, especially if you want to be super duper different. So I'm going to make a small computer just to show you how creative with meshes that you can get. So obviously the first thing you want to do is go to your toolbox and go ahead and open up your mesh pack and just put it inside of your world wherever you want it. Next, you want to go ahead and ungroup your meshes just to make sure that they're all individually by themselves. And I'm going to go ahead and use this little cylinder part. I don't even want to call it a cylinder. It's just this weird block that you would usually have to use negating for, but I didn't really want to do that, so I'm just going to use a mesh. Next, I'm going to go ahead and spawn a regular part because all I need is a square to make the little handle that actually holds up your screen. Also, down below, please let me know if you ever want to see real-time builds, or if you guys are okay with seeing me make these small builds like during the tutorials, because they take a little while just to insert them. Just to make like a small tutorial is probably like wasting 4 minutes that you could be learning new information, but let me know if you're okay with it, and then I'll start doing them more often. So the next step is actually I'm going to use this really weird curved part, and this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say that the scaling for meshes are super duper weird, therefore you can do so much with them. So I'm going to go ahead and actually scale this upwards, which actually makes it look like a curved monitor, which I love. You can make TVs with this, computers, which is what we're doing right now. We just ever so happen to be making a white monitor, which is really different, but I really did enjoy it. I'm gonna go ahead and, surface this, like put it wherever I want it. Sometimes it takes a little bit, so don't worry if you don't get it right away. As you see, I'm pretty slow at positioning it where I want it, but I mean, it helps. Alright, so the next step is actually to make a screen. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this original curved block and I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to just like space the block towards myself because it'll like push itself inwards, and I'm going to put a neon front over it so you can know that it's a screen. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep editing it and pushing it forward till like it looks flat, but not too like inside of it to where you can see it. And if you peep, I did use a really cool trick with my neon colors, which I won't go into detail, but if you peep it, let me know if you guys want to know. I'll probably like make a TikTok about it because I'm thinking of making TikTok videos, like really small TikTok tutorials, and just for like super duper small things. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to go in the comment section and type in TikTok tutorial. Hashtag TikTok tutorial. There you go. Type that in the comment section so I know you want it. But as you can see, I'm just positioning it to where I'm comfortable. I do that a lot, which is why it takes me forever. But now, as you can see, it's basically done. I'm gonna let the video play out some more so you guys can see the rest. Oh, I forgot. I did make the white part glass because it gives it like a little, I don't know, it just makes it shiny, and I think it just makes it look 10 times better. But yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, and one more thing before I go into the next category, I do want to say, when using meshes, please do not feel bad if you don't have any ideas. Meshes are purely just to add more to your game, and you just have to be in a different type of mindset to use it. So don't feel bad if you don't think about anything for a while. You're not like really supposed to. There is no specific way to use meshes, which is why they're special, because you can make it look retarded. I mean, do whatever. That's all I gotta say. Just remember, don't feel bad, it's okay. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be going over is negating, and I know that you guys were waiting for this one for the longest, and it's finally here. So we're actually going to jump right into this one without any chatter before, so get ready. So for this mini tutorial, I actually only have 2 parts here ready, and you only need really 2 parts for this, depending on if you're trying out for the first time. So I'm actually currently in the model tab, and you're going to want to look for solid modeling. Now inside of solid modeling, there are 3 different categories. You have union, negate, and separate. And the one we're going to be specifically focusing on right now is negate. Now negate simply means to like indent, like you're going to use that block to indent something, so it's going to change colors. Union is putting it together, and separate is separating those 2 blocks. So now that we got the purposes out of the way, let's get back into the tutorial. So next we're going to go ahead and click my right block and go ahead and negate it. Now that is putting it in negation mode, and it turns red as I'm showing you right here. Now we're actually going to take this block and put it inside of my regular block to create that indentation. So wherever you put it inside of the other block is where it's going to indent at. So what we're going to do is we're going to click both of those blocks, select them both, and press the union. And when you press that, as you see, where that block was inside of that, well, where the negated block was inside of that other block, it was negated. So I'm going to go ahead and take another block, I'm going to negate it again, and I'm going to put it on a different side so that we can indent again. And mind you, wherever you put that other block inside of it is exactly where it's going to indent. So as you can see, my block is looking real funky, real different. It's not your normal block, and that is 1 block. To separate it, all you do is press separate, and we're going to do that twice because I unioned it twice. Now that the mini demonstration is over, I do want to put a disclaimer that this is just like meshes. There isn't a specific way to use negating. Now you can make it for windows, steps. I usually use it for like windows, stuff like that, or like if I want to put like a indent inside of a wall that I usually wouldn't be able to use. Alrighty, so our next category is going to be lighting. Now I'm not going to go into detail with this again because if I did, it would take way too long. Plus, I'm still personally experimenting with this, so I'll be making a better advanced tutorial specifically for lighting. Anyways, let's get on with the mini tutorial. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is open up your view tab and open up properties and explorer. Make sure that whatever block you're trying to put your light on is selected. I want you to go to your explorer and right click and open up insert object. Now this will actually bring up a different like little tab, and it'll have tons and tons of extras on it, but I'm gonna open up mine bigger so you can see it. Now in the middle you will see the light section, and there are actually 3 different lights that you can use. But first we're gonna go over our point light, and when you add your point light to your object, as soon as you click it, you'll see that there's light to it. There's light surrounding the entire block, lighting up that entire box that it's inside of. And if you look inside of your explorer, you'll see that the point light is right under the part. I'm going to go ahead and delete it though because we're going to go on to our next one. So again, you're going to right click and go to insert object, go to the second one, which is spotlight. Now as I move my block, you'll see that the spotlight is actually only on one side of the block, which is the one opposite, so I'm going to go ahead and rotate it for you. But as you see, it's only on one part of the block, which is why I never really use point light. Oh, is that spotlight? I'm sorry, spotlight, not point light. I always use point light. I never really use spotlight, and you'll see that as I'm going to the next one, which is surface light, it kind of looks the same except like a little brighter, which is kind of iffy for me. I always use point light, so I'm not that like intellectual on the other 2. Alright, so now that we got the 3 categories out the way, let's talk about the lighting properties. So I'm going to go ahead and add the point light right back to my object. Right click, go to insert object, go to point light, add it right on back. Now if you actually look in your explorer, below your part, if you click point light, you will actually see that your properties tab will change a bit. And down below you'll see that the first one is brightness. Now this affects obviously the brightness and how bright. So if I turn it up, you're gonna be blinded, but if you turn it back down, it's gonna look really nice. So I'm gonna turn mine up just a little bit. And right below that is color. Now this brings up the same color wheel that I showed you at the beginning of this video. I'm gonna color mine, I don't know, I might go for a pink. Let's go for a pink. We're gonna go for a pink color. And then 2 down below that, below enabled is range. Now this shows like how far your light reaches. So like if you turn it up, it'll look super bright, but if you zoom out, it'll be like a lot better range. It'll range more basically. Below that is shadows, and shadows basically like if you have other objects in a room and you turn that on, the shadows are going to show properly. But that is all I have for you for lighting today, because like I said, I will be making a new tutorial for each and every category, and it will be more detailed. So if you want to see more of lighting, make sure you type in Ira lighting tutorial down in the comment section below. And while we're at it, let me inform you that this is actually the last part of the tutorial. So I do want to remind you all that yes, this is the third part of the tutorial, and no, this is not all that I can teach you. This is just the basics of the advanced stuff that I'm going to go more in detail with in another video. So there's going to be separate videos that I'm going to be teaching you guys about each and everything, but in this video I just showed you how to get to it and a little bit of how to use it. But let me tell you, I have a lot more in store for you, so stay tuned for that. So here are all the hashtags that you could put down in the comment section if you want to see me make them, so make sure you go do that. And along with these beautiful hashtags that you can put in the comment section, here are the beautiful examples that I've shown you in this video, and their actual videos. So if you go also down in the description, you can click them and it'll send you to the video. But before you go to the video, hold on, wait, don't click off. I have a new Discord server, let me tell you. So my first Discord server is actually a hangout. Now my next one is strictly for development. So if you're wanting to be in a building atmosphere, a GFX atmosphere, whatever development that you're into, and you want to be a part of a group, this is the place for you, boo. So make sure you go down in the description again and join that server, because we're waiting for you guys. So yeah, just like last time, let's try to get this video to 500 likes, because my last tutorial has like 980 something. So you know, we're gonna get this video to 500 likes, and when we get this video to 500 likes, you see these categories up on the screen, I'm gonna make those tutorials. Now they're not gonna come out like, I'm gonna take my time, I'm so sorry, but you know, your girl gonna be building a lot of stuff and I'm working on a lot of projects, hopefully, so we can get those out. But without further ado, make sure you go do all of that. And if this was helpful to you, please let me know down below so I can keep making more videos, you know, stuff like that. I'm excited, we just hit 1K. I'm excited, but I hope today's video helped you. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Bye bye, my loves, my little rats, my noobs. I will see you next time, next video. Bye bye.